Oh hey, I didn't see you over there. Well, you seem to have caught me in the middle of my work. But heck, since you're here, I'd like to talk to you about a hot new issue on the up and ups. Marijuana in the workplace. Now, when most people hear the term marijuana, they think of people being really stoned, high, lazy, good-for-nothing degenerates, riding on the coattails of the successful baby boomer generation. But I'm here to tell you that might not be the case. With the legalization of marijuana coming up on July 1st, 2018, I want to talk to you, fine folks at home, about the truth behind marijuana in the workplace, an issue that's been overlooked in the past, but is of utmost importance right now. Before we get into the thick of things, I first want to address the issue of the stigma around marijuana in the workplace. Let's take a look at Jimmy here. Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy here is a weed smoker who uses the drug every single day. Now, in your head, do you think Jimmy looks like this? Or do you think Jimmy looks like this? Well, if you thought the second option, then by gosh, you're right. This fine young lad is actually a junior accountant at one of the biggest firms in Calgary. You see, Jimmy is a very anxious person and struggles to get his work done if he doesn't have something to calm his nerves. Isn't that right, Jimmy?
Me too, thanks.
While it's true Canada does a swell job in defending medical marijuana rights of its workers, many workplaces still have a stigma around the drug. For many like Jimmy, when it comes to job satisfaction, there's a strong relationship between enjoyment of social context and overall job satisfaction. This means that to keep Jimmy boy happy, the folks at home should work to break the stigma. Keep up the great work, Jimmy. Did you know that according to Stats Canada, 1 in 3 people aged 18 to 25 have smoked cannabis in the last year? Also, as you can see by this graph, millennials are expected to make up 75% of the workforce by the year 2025. Do you see the commonality? This means that the younger half of millennials who are using marijuana will be making up the bulk of the workforce in the near future. Now that we know what the workforce is comprised of, and we know that marijuana doesn't need all this negative chatter in the workplace, we can move on to what I've been trying to get at all day, selection. I want you to meet my friend Catherine. Catherine here uses marijuana, but chooses to do so recreationally. She's a highly successful fourth-year student here at Cascade, and about to apply for jobs in the adult workforce. What she's realizing, though, is that some corporations she wants to work for haven't eliminated drug testing during their selection process. Yikes. The data is a little patchy, but best estimates suggest that around 40% of U.S. workers are currently subjected to drug tests during the hiring process. With the most commonly found drug being marijuana, this will directly impact Catherine, as her choice of recreational activities will severely impact her ability to apply and secure corporate positions.
Oh no, but I don't want to work for some corporate narcs.
Neither would I, Catherine. I think that corporations with strict zero-tolerance policies are the real losers. Come on, Catherine, let's go on an adventure.
Whoa, where the heck are we?
This here, Catherine, is the Silicon Valley, one of the fastest growing tech regions in the world, chock full of young, hip computer programmers with disposable incomes and not much social life.
Ah, another good day's work done.
Dispensaries in the area have reported that up to 40% of their clientele are tech workers. And down here, very few companies choose to drug test because these corporations want to hire the best and brightest, regardless of their off-the-job choices. Because there's no breathalyzer equivalent, testing is done via urine samples, which can detect the drug use up to several weeks after the fact and can still be grounds for termination. One expert compared this method of testing to having a glass of wine on Friday night and being fired for drinking on the job on Monday. This arbitrary testing method has led to increased turnover in the legalized states in the U.S., where the courts have allowed employers to continue with zero-tolerance policies. Naturally, this affects certain portions of the selection process. Now, moving on to adding value to the modern organization. For employers, the objective of selection is to choose employees who will add the greatest value. In Canada, as we mentioned, a growing portion of the workforce is going to be made up of people who recreationally smoke, a number we can expect to go up once the drug is legalized. In case you forgot, this is what the selection process looks like. Applicant job interest, pre-employment screening, application form, test and/or interview, background investigation, additional interview, medical exam, an alcohol/drug test, and finally job placement. The most glaring problems for modern organizations are in application job interest and the drug tests. These aspects could eliminate top talent from landing positions at firms. Knowing this information, managers will still be able to select top talent who may want to recreationally use marijuana. That's not all, though. Organizations who address the stigma of marijuana also stand to increase job satisfaction for swell folks like Jimmy. With new guidelines in place, organizations can even potentially reduce turnover and absenteeism from the employees they select. Some companies like FlowHub, a Colorado tech-based company, have taken things even a step further, allowing marijuana use on the job to promote creativity. Now I know you're all anxious to hear our final recommendation for how companies should move forward in this age of legal marijuana. And golly, after everything we've talked about, it's easy to see how to move forward. For youngsters like Jimmy who want to see everyone accepting of his use of marijuana, and sensitivity training within an organization is the best way to do that. For people who want to use the drug recreationally, we think that corporations should update drug and alcohol policies to classify marijuana more closely to alcohol. We think the two substances should have similar regulations. Finally, companies should remove drug testing from their selection process to ensure that they net top talent. Well, that's all the time I have today, folks. I hope you learned a lot about marijuana in the workplace and its influence on selection.